3 is the kitchen sink. And a 3. So we will be selecting one of those. And it is a 7. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. This is the American Cooking Cookbook. It has that lovely discard mark on it, which means it was a used library book. There's the call number. It's obviously old. I don't see a re-released or republished date, so I'm going to go with that 1968 copyright to be correct. All right, so we rolled for this recipe and we got jambalaya. Looking at this recipe, I have a concern. It's supposed to be the New Orleans favorite, since we're doing American cuisine, of jambalaya. The spiciest thing in this dish is black pepper. So I do not believe that it is true jambalaya, just what white men of New York thought was jambalaya in the 1960s. But we'll see how it goes. Our first step here is to heat a casserole dish over medium heat. They say to put the whole thing in the oven, so I went ahead and used a Dutch oven. Our first step is to put 1/4 pound of bacon cut into inch strips in here. I'm going to turn it down a little bit. It says it wants it brown but not crispy. I'm going to go ahead and pull it now. I think if we're not there, we're pretty close. We are going to throw this back in later so it has more of an opportunity to cook if it's not good enough. I'm moving it to a plate with a paper towel on it so that it can drain some of the extra grease off while it's waiting to come back. Right into the fat, we're going to add 1/2 cup of chopped onion. It didn't say what kind, so I went with red because that's what I had. So we just need to cook these until they're a little translucent on the edge. We don't want them brown. It says it'll take 8 to 10 minutes, but I don't think it will take that long. Some of them are looking pretty translucent around the edges, so we should be moving on to the next step shortly. Yeah, they're looking pretty good to me. I think if we wait any longer, they're gonna start getting crispy. Next step is 2 medium green peppers cut into 1-inch strips after you have seeded them. There's still some seeds in there, but I'm not super concerned about it. And we're gonna let these kind of shrink down a little bit. Once the peppers have started to wilt a little bit, we're supposed to add rice. All it says is raw rice, so I didn't go out and buy special rice. I just have minute rice. 1 cup of that. The next step is to stir the rice with the vegetables until the rice grains start to become a little opaque or milky. I do believe our rice is where it needs to be, so we're going to go ahead and add the next few ingredients. We need 1 teaspoon of chopped garlic. We need 1 pound, 3 ounces of tomatoes that are coarsely chopped, canned tomatoes. We need 1/2 teaspoon of thyme, 1 teaspoon of salt, a few grinds of pepper. I'm just going to shake a little bit in. We're adding our bacon back in. So it says to stir this all together thoroughly. Then 1.5 cups of chicken stock. And we need to bring that up to a boil. We're boiling. Next step is to put pre-cooked ham, it says pre-smoked ham, into here that has been cut into strips, 1/2 pound of it. All right, and give that a good stir. Our next step here is to cover it and then place it into our oven that's been preheating. At this point, our mix has been cooking on 350 for 10 minutes. So we're going to add 1 pound of medium raw peeled and deveined shrimp. They said to make sure to push the shrimp under the rice. So I'm just gonna quickly stir it in here and make sure it's pretty well covered. I think our shrimp is mixed in pretty well, so we're gonna cover this again and put it back in the oven for about another 10 minutes. It's been another 10 minutes, so we're supposed to take this out and kind of evaluate how done we think it is. The rice hasn't absorbed as much liquid as I would like. I'm probably going to put it in for another 5 minutes just because the shrimp were still a little bit frozen when I put them in, so I want to make sure they get cooked all the way through. But I think it's looking okay. Here's our jambalaya after the extra 5 minutes. It looks pretty good to me. The rice is nice and soft. The shrimp looks pretty thoroughly cooked. The next step is you can eat it straight out of the casserole dish, aka the Dutch oven, or you can serve it up. It recommends that you have 1 tablespoon of finely chopped fresh parsley for garnish.